So I was thinking about making a Madden 19 franchise wish list video, but then I realized that I don't believe that Madden 19 is going to have a franchise that is worth even touching. I don't believe that EA Sports is going to even put any effort into that game mode, and here's why. Franchise mode will never be the same for one simple reason: the fact that franchise mode is basically Ultimate Team and My Team. And EA Sports and 2K make a whole bunch of money off of those game modes that they are not going to put the effort needed to have a good enough franchise mode for people to play year-round until the new game comes out. And that's just the beast that we have right now with Ultimate Team and My Team. But Ultimate Team and My Team are franchise modes in a sense because you start off with a team, and you can rebrand that team. You can give that team a brand new stadium at a drop of a dime. You can give that team a brand new logo and uniforms at a drop of a dime. And you can build that team up in an image that you see. If you want to have 3 huge receivers out there, you can have a team with 3 huge receivers out there if you choose to. If you want to have a team with mobile quarterbacks, you can go out there and have mobile quarterbacks. If you want to draft people, well, opening up packs is like a draft, because in a draft, you don't know what you're going to get. That sounds a lot like a pack opening. You hope for the best, but you expect the worst. Because in most cases, most people that get drafted don't pan out in the NFL or in the NBA. Another thing that gives MUT and My Team an advantage for the user is that you actually feel like you have a chance to get maybe your favorite player. Maybe a brand new player that just broke out on the scene and they just came out with a brand new card for that player. Maybe you're doing a franchise with the Arizona Cardinals and you have a dream one day to bring Odell Beckham to your team. Most likely that's not going to happen in franchise mode. Most likely you're going to have to trade a whole bunch of picks, whole bunch of star players just to get that one player, and you might deplete your whole team by getting that one player. Or the Giants just continue to re-sign him, or when you go to sign him because he's a free agent, he just simply doesn't want to come to your team for whatever reason. And who wouldn't want to play with their favorite players? Well, in My Team and Ultimate Team, you get that chance. You save up enough coins, you get lucky in the draft, a pack opening, then you could actually get your favorite players. It's not that way in franchise mode. And then you get to the fact that franchise mode seems like a bunch of play now games after play now games. So not too many people actually play the whole season. Most of us simulate, especially if we're doing an NBA game. However, in Madden, you have preseason. Now, it would be dope if you had a training camp mode, but they don't have that anymore. They used to have it on the PS2. Training camp would allow you to select one player and try to develop that player. Now, I know in Madden 16, 17, 18, ever since the Connected Franchise Day, you could get XP for your players and so on and so forth, but it really had nothing to do with how that one specific player played that Sunday. It will be how you played with your team as a whole, and that is something that, to me, never made sense. My second string quarterback shouldn't become a better quarterback because the first string quarterback played well. It doesn't make any sense. What should happen is if you want your second string quarterback to develop, then you have to use him in training camp or focus on him in the preseason. However, with the way the XP works, it's not a real feel to how you would develop a player. If it was that way, then we would actually become invested in making our rookies become stars. It wouldn't just be random. We wouldn't just go after free agents. We would try to build through the draft. The point is that in Ultimate Team and in My Team, you could kind of build your team how you want to. In franchise mode, you're kind of limited to EA Sports' view on how a franchise mode should be. Now, I did a video not that long ago talking about remember when you could give Tom Brady dreads. That was on the PS2. Ever since we got to the 360 PlayStation 4 days of Madden, you have not been able to really edit players. Current players. Well, why would we want to edit current players? I know you're thinking, well, to update the attributes, maybe this person's having a phenomenal season. Madden franchise mode is going to have this guy out of the league in a year or two, while in real life, he is balling, about to get a brand new contract. So you want to edit the attributes. That's true too, and we're actually able to do that in Madden 18. However, I'm talking about editing somebody who sucks, who's barely on the roster, he's only just taking up space on the bench. You edit him into a brand new player who actually is a free agent tight end from the University of Alabama A&M, and he is actually balling, and you want him to be in your franchise. You can't do that. All you can do is change names, but you can't change how the person actually looks. You can't really change their height or their weight or anything like that. And the reason why that would be important is because so many times you have surprise players that come out of nowhere that shape how the NFL season goes. In Madden franchise mode, you're stuck with whatever roster you started the franchise mode with, and you better hope that there's no surprises in the NFL season, and of course, that's never the case. So that gives Ultimate Team and my team a leg up because they have the ability to give this person a new card, create this character, and put him in the game, and now you can work your way to getting that player or at least playing against that player if somebody else has him. But the last thing to me that will make franchise mode be as good as it once was or even better, that I think is always going to hold EA back and will never allow us to have a franchise mode in Madden that we deserve, is the fact that there would never be a real storyline. A custom-made storyline, a tailor-made storyline for your own particular franchise. It would be cool to see that coaches are on the hot seat and why they are on the hot seat. Are they having a bad season? Are they not getting along with management? Do the team's expectations not fitting what the coach is able to deliver? Instead of at the end of the season seeing that the 49ers part ways with Kyle Shanahan after year number 1. To me, that is ridiculous. We should know why. Did they expect 8 wins? Did they expect 10 wins? What were their expectations? There should be some kind of coaching carousel that affects you as well. Maybe now Kyle Shanahan is going to coach in your division, and you have to come up with a game plan to fit his scheme when he faces you in week number 16 and week number, 8 respectfully. So at the end of the day, without that, there's no real reason to pay attention to the coaches in the NFL when the coaches in the NFL are kind of important. Last but not least, players have to get suspended. I understand that EA Sports might not have the capability to do that because the NFL might have their fingers all over what Madden can do and what Madden can't do as far as players getting suspended and so on and so forth. And that's one of the problems with having an exclusive license. The people that you're in the license with, they can kind of determine what you can and cannot do in your game. However, they should not be able to tell you what you can and cannot do with fake players. Every year they have fake players come in and out of your draft for every single draft that you do in your franchise mode. Those players should have a high or low risk for off the field issues. Maybe somebody has a substance abuse issue. Maybe someone has an anger issue that leads to domestic violence. All these things should be in the game in some form or fashion. So now the draft actually has a bigger reason for why you should scout certain players. If you're just scouting players based on attributes, well, shoot, I feel like I can go out there with the worst quarterback and still win the Super Bowl. I feel like I can run with the worst running back and still find the right holes and so on and so forth. And yes, that is what she said. But at the end of the day, until we have a storyline, all those other issues are not going to make the game better. Because there's nothing to keep us coming back to franchise mode year in and year out when Ultimate Team and my team, outside of having to spend real money, give you a better franchise experience than the actual franchise mode.
Check it, every day we're getting it. Hey, check it, put the place up. Yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo. I'm a chaser, face up.